Hey guys, it's Alex from 7th Hour Films, and today I'm going to be bringing you a review of Iron Fist, the fourth Marvel Netflix series, which leads up to The Defenders, which I believe is coming out this summer. So that's pretty cool. Iron Fist. I'm just going to quickly go over my thoughts on the other three shows, just to kind of tell you where I am with these shows. So start with Daredevil, real quick. I think it's okay. I don't think it's great like everyone else does. I think it has weak villains, not a great main character, but it could be better. I might try to do a review of that later in the year, like a more in-depth on my thoughts about that. But I mean, it's okay. I don't hate it or anything, and I don't really dislike it. I think it's okay. I just think, like, especially, like, Fisk is not a good villain at all, and the clock is going off, so yay. Okay. I don't really like Fisk as a villain, but anyway, so Daredevil I think is just okay. Jessica Jones I thought was great. Really great characters, amazing villain. I love Kilgrave, and there's not a whole lot else to say other than I just think it's a great show. And it's actually my favorite of these Defenders shows. Quick thoughts on Luke Cage. Luke Cage comes in a close second. The only real problem I have with Luke Cage is that when we trade villains in the middle of the show, we don't trade up. Like, we start with the one villain, we get another villain halfway through. I don't think he's as good as the first villain, but he's not that bad either. So, Luke Cage I think is great too. And now we are on to Iron Fist. Just a quick plot summary of this show. Iron Fist is about Danny Rand, the Iron Fist, who has been presumed dead for the past 15 years. And he comes back to his father's company, Rand, and he sees that his old friends are running it, Ward and Joy Meacham, siblings. But secretly, Rand is being controlled by Harold Meacham, who has also been presumed dead all this time, and stuff with the hand. And, well, it's more than just some stuff with the hand. The hand does play a big part in this because Danny's goal as the Iron Fist is to destroy the hand, basically. And so that's the whole thing, is he's trying to defeat the hand in Rand, basically. There are members of the hand in the Rand company, and he's trying to take them out, and he's really grappling with what he wants and what the Iron Fist calls for. And that's the basis of the show. You meet some other characters, some returning, at least one returning character, some new characters, and they're all pretty good, actually. But my overall thoughts on Iron Fist are, it's okay. I think it's a little bit more entertaining than Daredevil. It's not as, like, depressing as Daredevil is. So Daredevil is still my least favorite of these shows, but I'd say Iron Fist is just, like, a little bit above Daredevil for me. It's not great like Luke Cage or Jessica Jones. I'm sorry if the lighting is changing. The way I have my filming set up is there's a giant window over here, and it's a kind of a sunny, cloudy day, so stuff keeps passing in front of the sun, and yeah, that's what I use for lighting. Anyway, so I think that Iron Fist is okay. I like the characters, even if some of them maybe have their stupid moments. Danny especially has a lot of stupid moments. And I don't know, because it's interesting to think about it, because it kind of takes the Daredevil Season 2 route, where you really don't know who the villain is until the last episode. Sorry. Watery eyes. I'm going to take a drink. you really don't know who the villain is until the end of the show, which is an interesting approach. Like in Daredevil Season 2, I'm going to kind of spoil that a little bit, and I'll probably spoil some stuff for Iron Fist, actually, now that I think about it, so if you don't really want spoilers, then head on out, go watch Iron Fist. It's on Netflix. I'm sure you have Netflix. Go watch it. Quick thoughts, it's okay. I was entertained, which, that's good. So, go watch that. If you don't care about spoilers or you've seen it already, stay here. Let's talk about it and Daredevil Season 2. So, Daredevil Season 2, I really didn't know who the villain was until the end. And maybe that's just me, but, I mean, it wasn't really clear who the villain was in Season 2. And I remember just before watching the finale, it's like, who's the villain here? It's not the Punisher. The Punisher's not the villain, he's just an anti-hero. I was like, I don't think it's Elektra, because her and Matt are still friends, pretty much. You know, they wouldn't really butt heads like that. And I was like, okay, is it the Hand? It's like, the Hand was in Daredevil Season 2 a decent amount. It's like, okay, so I guess the villains are the Hand, but they haven't really had a lot of screen time, and especially when it's shown that Nobu is the final villain in Season 2 of Daredevil. Again, I didn't really know that until the last episode. And I was like, okay, so he's the villain, I guess? He's kind of a weak villain. I think he's a weaker villain than Fisk, and I didn't like Fisk, so yeah, that was Daredevil Season 2, and they kind of do that for Iron Fist. For Iron Fist, I wasn't really sure who the villain was. At first, it seemed to be Madame Gao and the Hand. And I thought, okay, this is great. I like Madame Gao. Madame Gao is a very intimidating villain. You know, for a little old Asian lady, she's very intimidating. Like, that was always the thing about Daredevil is like, everyone's like, oh, Fisk is so intimidating. It's like, no, he's not. He's just a big, bald, angry dude. Freaking this little old Asian lady always has this creepy smile on her face. She's more intimidating, and sure enough, in this, she is very intimidating. And I'm thinking, okay, this is an interesting villain. But then we kind of have a switch later on to this character named Bakudo, who's part of the Hand, kind of. It was very unclear. Basically, he's part of the Hand, but he's a different faction of the Hand. Like, I guess there's multiple hands. Well, there's two hands to every person, so I guess there's two hands in reality. There's the Hand under Madame Gao, and I guess her master. She did say that once, like, yes, I will take you to my master. And so that was a terrible impression anyway. So there's her Hand, and then there's Bakudo's Hand, and he's like a good Hand, but he's also evil. He's just a different evil Hand, I guess. So that was weird, and I thought, okay, so this guy is the bad guy now, and I guess we'll get to Gao and the Defenders. And then Harold comes in, Harold Meacham. Last episode, like, I'm not even kidding, last episode, Harold sends people after Danny to take care of him. I think he frames him for, like, selling heroin, which he didn't do. And so the DEA is after him. And so now Harold is the bad guy. Like, Harold is supposed to be the final bad guy in this. He is the season villain. But we didn't know that throughout the entire thing, and it was kind of like, Danny didn't know that throughout the entire thing. Like, okay, in Daredevil Season 2, there was no question Nobu was a bad guy. We just didn't know if he was the bad guy of the season villain, like Fisk was, or Kilgrave, or Diamond Mouth, kind of, yeah. Diamondback, really, not really Cottonmouth, because he died. And so, but this time, it's very unclear on Harold, because Danny doesn't know that he's a villain. Danny thinks that he's trying to help Harold get rid of the hand. He's trying to free him from the hand. But we know Harold is still doing some shady crap. And so it's really weird and very confusing, even just for me. Because it's like, okay, he's helping Danny, but he's also still kind of a dick. And now he's just a dick and not helping Danny. I don't get how that works. I don't know what his motivations are or anything. Here was actually a complaint I had. In the beginning, when I thought, okay, Harold is the villain. This is before Madame Gao shows up or Bakudo or any of that stuff. I'm thinking, okay, it's Harold. Harold's the villain for at least the first 2 episodes. And my God, I had this complaint. I have, and now it really resonates after watching the whole season. It's a dude in a suit. It's a dude in a suit. Who cares about a dude in a suit? And see, now here's the thing. When I say a dude in a suit, I mean, he's a businessman. He's like, yes, we have to do this so that we can save the company. We need Danny to help save the company. That's actually a really good impression of him. He is concerned about his company, about Rand, even though it's not his name, whatever. Which is weird. Why wouldn't they call it Rand and Meacham or something? Why would they call it... Who cares? But, okay, it's a dude in a suit. Who cares about a dude in a suit? When you have this guy who trained in a monastery for 15 years in another dimension to get this mystical iron fist, why is the villain a dude in a suit? Why? Why is he a dude in a suit? I don't get it. Why couldn't it just be the hand? Madame Gao makes sense. Bakudo kind of makes sense. I didn't even care for Bakudo, but he makes more sense than Harold. Harold literally just is concerned about his company. And see, when you keep going through the episodes, it kind of seems like they say that he's basically working for the hand, but he's trying to free himself. And so I'm thinking, okay, he's working for the hand. Clearly he's using his business to benefit the hand. He's using Rand to benefit the hand. So he's not just a dude in a suit. He is a ninja, I guess. But he's not. He has no training. He is specifically shown with a personal trainer. He is a dude in a suit. And see, now, I had this complaint in the beginning. And my brother was telling me, who cares if it's a dude in a suit? It's New York. They're in New York. Of course it's a dude in a suit. Why are they in New York, though? What was the purpose of putting this in New York? There was no purpose of putting this in New York. Except that the hand is in Rand. Basically, Madame Gao is using Rand to ship synthetic heroin all over the world. Danny didn't know that. He did not know that when he left Kanglan, the monastery in the different dimension. He didn't know that. He just left. He left and he went to New York. And it's never clearly explained why he left. He just left. Because, the way was open, he could leave that dimension, he could leave Kunlun, and he just did. And he went to New York to go see how his company was doing. Who cares? I'm telling you, who cares? Who cares about this guy trying to get his company back? And this other guy, this just a dick, trying to keep his company that he's secretly been controlling, this entire time while he's been dead, trying to free himself from the hand. Why not just stick with the hand? Why? So now we have 3 villains. 3 different villains that hate each other. We have Madame Gao, and Harold, and Bakudo. None of them like each other. None of them are allies. None of that. Harold works for Madame Gao, but he doesn't want to. He wants to be free, and he wants Gao out of the picture. Madame Gao hates Bakudo. She wants Bakudo out of the picture. Bakudo hates both of them, wants both of them out of the picture. Because of corporations, Bakudo then. He wants to get rid of corporations because corporations are taking over the world. You know, who cares? I thought at first he was an anarchist. Because he was saying, like, you know, corporations are taking control of the government. You know, corporations rule the world instead of governments. And I thought, okay, are you going to take down the governments and the corporations and, you know, put in anarchism? Anarchism? Anarchy? There. But no, he just wants to take down corporations. He's fine with governments. Okay, because, you know, all the governments of the world are, you know, the most amazing things in the world. We all know that, right? So, but it's just a dude in a suit. I know this is the weirdest thing to complain about, but it's just a dude in a suit. And I don't have this problem with the other shows. Fisk is a dude in a suit, but he's not just a businessman. He is, you know, an underground crime boss. You know, he's a kingpin. You know, Kilgrave's just fancy. He just looks suave because, you know, you have David Tennant, you put him in a suit. So that makes sense. Cottonmouth also makes sense because he's a nightclub owner, you know? He's got to look all nice and suave, you know? And so that makes sense. Diamondback really didn't have a suit. He just kind of wore a jacket or something. I don't even remember. Occasionally he wore a suit. But he was also still a kingpin, you know? He was a crime boss, and it made sense. Here, it's just a dude in a suit. It is a businessman. Through and through, Harold is a businessman. He does not have some grand plan where he's not gonna take over the hand. There is no point where he's like, yes, and I'm going to take over the hand. You know, that is what I will do. Because once Danny defeats them, I will take them over. No, none of that. All he wants to do is get his effing company back. Who cares? It is a company. Let it go. You are immortal. You are literally immortal in this. He says he dies and he can come back from death. And he just wants his company. Who cares? That is terrible motivation. It's like, oh, he just wants company. In a show about multi-dimensional martial artists and ninjas, the villain was a businessman. That sucks. Harold is a terrible villain. Now, he's kind of interesting when he's just going against the hand, but when he just is the villain, he is terrible. He is just terrible. He is the worst villain that we have had, purely as a villain. As a character, he's kind of okay, but when he just wants, you know, when he's, nothing will stop me from getting my business back. Who gives a shit? Like, literally, I'm sorry, I try to keep this PG. I do, I try to keep this PG, but who cares about your business? No one cares. We're at like 20 minutes or so, and I'm still ranting about friggin' Harold. Alright. I think I got that out of my system. So yeah, other than that, I mean, it's okay. It's not really good. It's not bad either. I found it entertaining. I liked Danny and Colleen and Claire. Claire Temple comes back in this. And I am excited to see what the Defenders is. The Defenders have to go against the Hand, right? Because they still didn't defeat the Hand. Daredevil hasn't beaten the Hand. Iron Fist still hasn't beaten the Hand. It's like, you know, all we've done is defeat Harold. Madame Gao is still out there. I think Bakudo is still out there too. So there's two different hands, you know. And it's just, but it's okay. So I am somewhat excited for the Defenders, if only because that means Luke Cage and Jessica Jones are coming back, and they are great characters. Matt, I could take him or leave him. Danny is alright. He's just alright. Nothing really. He's not that great, really. But, yeah, I think I've ranted about this show enough. It's okay. It has a terrible ending villain, but it's okay. If you want to see some cool fights and yeah, if you want to see cool fights and Madame Gao be intimidating, then you'll get that. You just have to slog through some crap here. Okay, well, now that all that's out of the way, end cards are going to pop up right about now. You can click on those. You can follow 7th Hour Films on Twitter at 7th Hour Films right over here, in case you misspell that. And that's basically it. I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time on DC's Legends of Tomorrow. Take care.